عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Today I just wanted to give a short and quick reminder to myself and everyone over here. It's a reminder related to a lot of what's going on nowadays with technology. We are able to get everything we need with just a click of a button. And not only that, nowadays with a lot of deals and a lot of discounts, all the ads that we see everywhere we go, 50% off, 20% off, and we get very enticed to spend. And a lot of times, sometimes we need it. However, sometimes it is completely unnecessary spending, and that in Islam is a concept that we call israf. Right? And that's going to be my concept of today. Israf can be translated in English as extravagance, but the idea is going more than what you actually need. And this is something we have to be careful about as Muslims. Now, in Islam, in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in Surah Al-A'raf, ayah 31, يَا بَنِي آدَمَ خُذُوا زِينَتَكُمْ عِنْدَ كُلِّ مَسْجِدٍ وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا وَلَا تُسْرِفُوا إِنَّهُ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُسْرِفِينَ. It translates to, O children of Adam, dress properly whenever you are at worship. Eat and drink and do not waste. So that's the focus today. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us to eat and drink. He didn't say don't eat and drink. Eat and drink. Do what you need, but do not be wasteful. And the ayah continues, surely He does not like the wasteful. So that is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not like, when we go above and beyond what is our need. Now, there's another example of that in the story of the Prophet ﷺ when there was a Sahabi. Now, the Sahabi was Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, was performing wudu. And when he was performing wudu, he was using quite a bit of water. And the Prophet ﷺ came and asked him, what is this extravagance? Because he was using so much water. And then Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, he was confused. Even in wudu, Ya Rasulullah, even in wudu there's extravagance? He said, yes, even if you are at a flowing river. Now the hadith itself is da'if, is weak, but the concept is that even if you have an abundance of resource, even if you can afford, even if you will not be affected by spending on this, that doesn't mean you should be spending on it. There's a sense of constraint that Islam teaches us. However, if it is a need, if it is something that you will need and use and utilize, Bismillah, go for it. However, if you have, for example, you have last year's model of the iPhone or any other device that we have, do you really need the newest model? Is it really worth it to spend $1,000 just to buy the newest model where you don't even get too much of an upgrade? Same thing idea when it comes to food, right? You're going to events. If anyone goes to like these events nowadays, take it easy with the food. Sometimes you go to these buffets, you fill your plate, you eat half of what you have. The rest of it is israf. It goes to waste. And even when it comes to simple things like using the water at home, right? And even when it comes to an act of worship, for example, making wudu. There are a hadith about how much water you should use when making wudu. And for example, the hadith we just talked about as well. Right? Don't let the water be running at full speed when you're making your wudu. That is considered israf. Right? You are using more water. You are wasting more water than you actually need. Turning off the lights when you don't need them at home. All of these are little tiny things that you can do to avoid being excessive, to avoid going overboard and using more than what you actually need. So it's important that we always remind ourselves about that. And the result of israf, when people are going overboard, when people are being excessive, it results, the scholars have said, in the hardening of the heart. It is a physical manifestation of us not being grateful for our own resources. Be going overboard shows that we are not grateful for what Allah has given us. It makes us think that, oh, we are given this money because we worked hard for it and it is ours by right. That is not true. Anything that has been given to us is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It can be taken away at any time. So it is important that we control our spending of our resources. We spend on what we need. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not told us not to spend on our family. It is important. You're encouraged to spend on your family and spend on what you need. However, do not be excessive or extravagant. So I make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes us amongst those who are grateful and moderate. May He protect us from the sins of extravagance and help us use our blessing to please Him and not to waste Him. Wa jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.